I'm Allendale's Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at your midday weather update. As we take a look at the latest setup across the middle of the United States, the Corn Belt, and all key ag areas, generally speaking, we don't have much to talk about in terms of change. What we've got is a nor'easter that's moving up the east coast of the United States. Yeah, that's right, I said nor'easter. No one's really talking about this big storm that's been responsible for some heavy rains from the Carolinas northward up into the New Jersey, Pennsylvania area. It's actually spread moisture across the Appalachians back into parts of eastern Kentucky and eastern Tennessee. This is all thanks to that trough, that front that's sitting right off the coast of the United States. It has nothing to do with Hurricane Joaquin. So this is a story that's kind of gone unnoticed, or at least untalked about. This system is going to continue to push north. It may throw some clouds into the eastern Corn Belt, but that's about it. I'm a little concerned maybe about some moisture sneaking across the Ohio River Valley as we go on through this afternoon, but that's about it. The heart of the Corn Belt continues to look dry and cool. It looks like that'll stay that way through the weekend. One thing about having a hurricane off the East Coast, as we've said the past several days, what that does is it kind of slows progression of systems across the U.S. from west to east, so that we've got moisture that's going to continue to fire off in the plains, coming off an area of low pressure that's in the Rockies right now. This will be something that we'll see off and on as we go through the weekend, tomorrow, Sunday, and into early Monday. This is going to lead to scattered action. I'd say probably 40 to 50% coverage area, with the totals that go anywhere from a quarter of an inch to maybe 3/4 or 1 inch in spots. This is going to be something that helps parts of the hard red winter wheat belt, but if you're looking for it to hit everyone, you're going to be having to look somewhere else. Now, I will say this. The slowing down of the progress across the U.S. also gives us a much better shot of rain in the hard red winter wheat belt as we go through the end of next week, Wednesday through Friday. I think we can see half to 1 inch rainfall over about 70% of wheat areas here in the United States. So guys have dusted some wheat in out there, waiting for rain, what have you. That will be a help to the wheat crop. Talking about wheat other places, the market paying attention to some dryness in the former Soviet Union, Ukraine area. Guess what? Strong high pressure keeps those areas dry right on through early next week. Now, I do see a front sweeping through Eastern Europe and Russia probably toward midweek next week. I don't see any significant rains for the Ukraine, but that front may end up triggering slightly better rains for the southern part of the southern region in Russia later next week, say Thursday into Friday. We're continuing to see mostly dry weather in Australia. I don't see any change in that part of the world either. Now, as we take a look at the Corn Belt, great harvest weather so far. That looks to continue through this weekend. Dry, cool. The rain event for next week seems to have fizzled a little bit at midweek. The front still moves across the upper Midwest and into the central Corn Belt, but then it dies off. Probably a quarter of an inch, maybe a few ticks more in the upper Midwest and western Corn Belt Wednesday of next week, but I don't think it progresses eastward. But that system that we talked about for the Central Plains, that is going to be ejecting out and heading toward the rest of the Corn Belt. That should bring maybe quarter to 1 inch rains to about 75% of the Corn Belt for Friday, Saturday, maybe even lingering into Sunday of next week. Not this weekend, next week. Still looking at another system around the 16th, but it's not as impressive. As we said, below normal temperatures here short term, but we should get back closer to normal as we go through next week. On soybeans, South American weather. We got lots of heavy rain in southern parts of Brazil, into Paraguay, Uruguay. You can even make the arguments in extreme northern Argentina. I got to stress, though, in Argentina, it is not in the main crop-producing areas. But we see no rains of any significance farther north in Mato Grosso, Goiás, and places like that where we can plant beans now. Scattered showers are going to be producing a quarter of an inch to 4/10 of an inch over southeast Mato Grosso next Saturday into Sunday. Coverage will be about 50%. But then we see the rains get a little bit better going east, maybe half to 1 inch over Goiás and Minas Gerais as we go into the 12th. Argentina, not a big story here. Rains are hitting areas that aren't key growing areas, but the southern and central part of the growing areas look mostly dry all the way through the next 2 weeks. That's the way things are stacking up here at midday. If you've got any questions on the weather, give us a call at Allendale. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.